Hey everyone, so I said I'd do a video on this, so here we go. On my Instagram stories yesterday, I asked the question, can you out-train a bad diet? And after close to 24 hours now and a few hundred votes, close to 90% have said that no, you can't out-train a bad diet. And I would argue that those 90% are wrong. And there were several coaches who messaged me privately and said, well, this, and this. So technically, yes, but no. Um, it's either yes or no. So there's no technicalities in here, really. The answer is yes. Yes, you can out-train a bad diet. And, there will be different conversations and other variables that will be put forward as to what constitutes a bad diet. And, that's a fair question. Now, so, looking at what is a bad diet. Now, for the most part, anyone who's followed me for a while will know I say there are no good foods, there are no bad foods, there are just foods. There are decisions or repercussions, again, some which may be deemed good or bad depending on your goals, on having those foods. If you had a high carb meal, full of Haribo sweets, for example, as your main carb source. Okay, it's basically just glucose. It does what it's supposed to do, but there's virtually no volume with it at all, and the repercussion of that is you'll get very hungry very quickly. So as long as you can tolerate that hunger and you don't start eating tons more of it, and that then or eat a load of other food because of that hunger, then there's no real repercussions immediately or even acutely. Chronically over weeks, months, years, maybe so, but that's a very different story. If you're on a bulking plan or trying to gain weight, and you're trying to get all of your foods from wholesome, lean meats, veggies, fruits, example, and potatoes, you're going to struggle to get it all in because the volume is so high and the calories are so low. So is that a bad diet then as well? So I'm going to try and go through this as best I possibly can. Now, when people are putting up their problems on social media with regards to not attaining a certain goal, and it's normally weight loss related, that they're not getting towards their goal. And the first point people always go to is nutrition, and that's 100% right. Nutrition, if you're looking to gain weight or lose weight, nutrition is the key. And invariably at some point during the comments thread, somebody will say, nutrition isn't right, you can't out-train a bad diet. And I know what they're getting at, but they don't know what they're getting at. Simply put, if you're eating more calories than you expend, then you're not going to lose weight. If you are burning more calories than you ingest, you're not going to gain weight. So yes, so from that point of view, again, it comes down to calories in versus calories out. It really is as simple as that. Now, some will then say, oh, but the quality of the calories matter. And when it comes to actual weight loss, okay, and let's negate weight loss from fat loss for the moment as well, because they're different entities. When it comes to weight loss, it doesn't matter where the calories come from. Being overweight, over fat, and wanting to lose weight, there are greater risks on your body at that weight, and there are greater health implications at that than there are eating low nutrient, high calorie dense foods in order to lose the weight. So, for example, there was a professor of nutrition from Kansas State University in the US. He basically ate the Twinkie diet. So he ate Twinkies for nearly most meals. To mix it up, he had Oreos and Doritos and sugary cereals because he was getting bored of Twinkies. But essentially, he ate junk food for the entire time. Okay, but he put himself with that at an 800 calorie deficit. So he filled his calorie allowance, which I think was about 2,000 calories, with junk food. And I think he had one protein shake a day. And over the 10 weeks, he lost 12 kilos. Every single one of his health markers improved. His cholesterol, his blood pressure, and his fasting glucose levels. And obviously lost the 12 kilos in weight as well. Okay. Another guy in Australia did the potato diet, and he lost something like 54 kilos in a year. Every single meal he ate was potatoes. That's it. He might have had mash and put some almond milk in with it and things like that. He supplemented with vitamin B12 due to the lack of meat in his diet. But potato itself is actually fairly rich in nutrients and highly satiating as well. So, kind of incredibly restrictive. I wouldn't recommend it. But he did it for a year, had a couple of beers here and there as well. But he lost 53 kilos in a year. Every single one of his major health markers improved over that course of that year by virtue of losing the weight. At the end of that year, he was obviously bored, fucking senseless of potatoes. Still eats them, but included other foods into it. Who else was there? There was the chef in New York who had a pizza every day for lunch. And the rest of his food was veggies, fruits, and salads. But he had that pizza every single day for a year. No, so it was a year or 6 months. 6 months, I think it was. And how was it? No, it was a year. It was a year, and he lost 42 kilos in a year. Again, simply because he knew that if he was under his calorie allowance, he would lose weight. And once again, all of his health markers improved. Now, I'd say that all of those diets were, in inverted commas, bad diets. They're not nutrient dense for the most part, highly restrictive. But you're in a negative calorie balance, negative energy balance, you lose weight. Health markers improve. Arguably, I'd also say that if you think of a bodybuilder's, a stereotypical bodybuilding diet, you think of, what was it? Broccoli, brown rice, chicken, tuna, egg whites, oats. That 6 foods which they all do and consume over the course of, I don't know, however long their prep is, 12, 16, 20 weeks. That is what they stick to throughout the entire time, because that's the way they're choosing to do it. That, again, in inverted commas, is a bad diet, in that it is incredibly void of many nutrients, doesn't cover even a fraction of the vitamins and micronutrients that they need. But whether they're using anabolic steroids or whether they're natural, doesn't matter. They are getting very lean by the end of it. So once again, they have essentially out-trained a bad diet. They're in a calorie deficit and they have lost the weight. So again, energy balance. And then you're going to get on the flip side to this. So this is for, what I'd class as very restrictive diet practices, okay? Then you'll get somebody who's perhaps eating too many calories, so eating junk food the whole time and not losing weight. The simple equation here again is, okay, he wants to eat 5,000 calories a day, or she does, doesn't matter. Good luck to her if she wants to do that as well. Wants to eat 5,000 calories a day. Okay. Her energy expenditure is currently, and metabolism, everything else is only at 2,500 a day. How can she eat all that and either maintain her body weight or lose body weight? Simply increasing energy expenditure. If you look at the likes of Michael Phelps or Tour de France cyclists, or many professional athletes who are training anywhere from 3 to 6 to even 9 hours a day, those guys need a ridiculous amount of calories to sustain performance and recovery and to keep doing it over and over again. Now, take into consideration that if they're training for that amount of hours per day, and we take away probably 8 to 10 hours of sleep as well, plus maybe a nap in the day and massage and physio and things like this, then the diet they are going to be consuming is going to be very high in what would be considered as junk food type foods, highly processed foods, and they'll be having to supplement with a lot of vitamins and supplements as well to keep up their micronutrient intake, because their eating window that they've got to get all these foods in is so small that they just can't have it from completely wholesome, nutrient-dense sources. So again, an example like that, if you want to eat that amount of food, you can do, but you just need to burn off the equivalent for that. Now, the problem is most people don't have the time for it. Most people aren't professional athletes. They don't have the time to invest in 5 hours, 6 hours a day. And I don't think I'd want to. No, I wouldn't want to spend that amount of time every day training just so I could eat 5,000, 6,000 calories worth of junk food. But if I so wanted to and decided that's going to be my thing, I want to eat 6,000 calories a day, how do I do this? Simply put, I just increase my energy expenditure. So again, you can out-train a bad diet, energy balance. And that is the crux of all of it. So, I think it was 10%, might have gone up to 14% of you who said yes, well done, you are winners. Congratulations. You don't win anything except the fact that you got it right when most people got it wrong. So this is my opinion and take on it. Again, like I say, energy balance is the key to all of this. Yes, you may not have time to do it, but it doesn't mean you can't do it or couldn't do it or someone else couldn't do it. And on the flip side, as long as you can manage the cravings and potential issues around hunger and that of eating a Twinkie diet every day to lose weight, then again, you can out-train a bad diet. So there we have it. Interested to hear, and no doubt there will be some comments on this around disagreement, and that's cool. Like I say, this is my opinion on it. The science pretty much backs me up on this as well. There will be things like micronutrient issues in there, but if you're supplementing well, you can avoid those too. If you're talking about body composition and purely fat loss, for example, then I've covered that with the bodybuilder example. They prioritize protein, so they keep their lean mass. I dieted down on pizzas and donuts for a lot of my prep. I ended up on stage shredded. So again, I out-trained it. I had the foods I wanted, and it worked. Science works. But yeah, let's hear your critique, your feedback. Give me your anecdotal reason as to why it can't be done. But yeah, thank you.